Hi guys, it's Allison, VeggiemamaVSG again. So I wanted to go over a little bit of my hospital stay. So I am 2 or 3 days, depending on how you look at it, post-op. I had my VSG on Monday. Today is Wednesday. So on Monday, June 11th, 2018, with Dr. Lautz in Concord, Massachusetts at Emerson Hospital. And so I had my surgery Monday. They released me yesterday, so I've been home since yesterday afternoon. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of, just kind of how the hospital went. It went really well. Like, it went a lot better than I expected. So, trying to think. So, my arrival time was 8:30 in the morning, which was kind of nice because it wasn't like so early that we were driving in the dark, but it wasn't so late that I was like laying around starving all morning. So that was a really good arrival time. Of course they have you arrive at 8:30. They didn't pull me back there till 9. And then, I got undressed, put on the Johnny. They had my husband wait out in the living room for a few minutes because it's my doctor's office's policy to ask at every appointment if you feel safe at home and things like that. So I think they wanted my privacy so that I can answer those questions. So anyways, then my husband came back. They started the IV, and one of the cool things they did was they gave me an injection. I can't remember what it was, but it was a tiny little injection in my hand of pain reliever before they did the IV, so that the IV didn't hurt at all. Like, it was amazing. It was incredible. Like, I didn't feel the IV going in at all. So that was pretty cool. They'd asked me in pre-op if I was the kind of person that throws up a lot and gets nauseous easily, and to be honest, I am. All through my pregnancy, I was very, very sick. So I said yes, and a friend of mine recommended to me to ask for a nausea patch. So I did, and they gave me one, and I stuck it behind my ear. It was like the size of like a dime. It was tiny. They stuck it behind my ear before I even went in to surgery, and I experienced no nausea at all. It was really, really nice. So they did the IV, they did the nausea patch. I met, everybody kind of came in. I met with the surgeon briefly. I met with the anesthesiologist and her assistant and the scrub nurse. They did give me a sedative. They said it was in the Valium family, like through the IV before they brought me into the surgery theater. So then, so they brought my husband wheeled with me until he couldn't anymore. So we said goodbye, and then they wheeled me into the surgery theater. And one of the things I was a little bit irrationally concerned about was how they were going to get me like from the bed onto the surgical table. And I'm like, because other people have said you kind of have to scoot yourself, and I'm like, okay. I don't know. I was kind of worried about that. And they have this, like, at least at my hospital, they have this like blow up mattress thing underneath the mattress of the gurney. So they blow it up, and it blows up in like a second, and then they like pull, it has handles, and they pull it from like the gurney to the surgical table, and then they did the whole maneuver in reverse at the end of surgery. So that was pretty neat. Let's see. So then once they got me over, they got my arms, situated. They had me holding on to, like, I think it was dressings. They were going to, like, they kind of had to strap me down to the table a little bit because I guess the surgical table moves. Like, they do when they do surgery. Like, they told me it's at an incline a little bit. So the surgical table had like a footrest, and they strapped me down to that table. It was kind of interesting. So I thought that was kind of interesting that, I guess to make easier visibility, I don't know. So anyways, once they gave me the, I think it was fentanyl, once they gave me that, I didn't remember anything else. And I remember waking up, the operation was over, and I was still in the surgery room, and I remembered them with the blow-up mattress again, pushing me back over onto the gurney and wheeling me to recovery. once I was in recovery, I woke up pretty fast. I was in there for like a good 2.5, maybe 3 hours. I didn't really have a lot of pain. They set up my pain pump and it had Dilaudid in it. I pressed the button a couple times. I had no nausea. I was dozing in and out a little bit, but I was really pretty comfortable. I was feeling good. And then after a little while, they brought my husband back, so it was nice to have him with me. It took a little bit to get my room ready. I remember that there was a little while where we were waiting for the room to be ready. So then they sent us up to the room. Unfortunately, I had a roommate. I didn't realize that was a thing. So apparently it's a thing. She was super sweet. She was literally an 83-year-old woman with pneumonia. And she was just the cutest little thing. It was a little bit frustrating because she has pneumonia, so she's coughing a lot, and it kept me up a little bit. And she was a serial channel flipper on the television, so she's like flipping through all the channels. But she was really sweet. Like, she kept checking in on me, and I would walk a lot. So that was my next advice, is walk. Like, as soon as you can, get out there and walk. Honestly, being upright felt better than being reclined. Like, the gas pain is in your shoulders, as they describe, and honestly, it just felt really good to stand up and stretch out and walk. But so my little roommate was like, "Don't tire yourself out. You need to rest." And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna walk." I'm good. She was so cute. But yeah, I walked a ton. My floors were pretty small. Emerson's a small hospital. But I found the kids' room, and I was kind of trying to beg them. Like, in the kids' room, they had all these DVDs and a television and a really comfy chair. I'm like, "Can I hang out in here? I want to hang out in here. It looks fun in here." So they said no, but they did let me pick some DVDs, and they brought a portable DVD player to my room, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I walked a ton. And the other thing I would advise is I changed into my own clothes. As soon as I got into my room and the nurse came in, I'm like, I want to get out of the Johnny, and I wanted to be in my own clothing. I just felt more comfortable. So she put a cap on my IV, and she helped me into, so I put underwear and pajama pants and a really loose t-shirt, and then she hooked up my IV again. And it just felt so good to be in my own clothing. And then I wasn't embarrassed. I mean, like, because when you're walking the hallways of a hospital, you're running into all kinds of people, and I just felt less embarrassed when I wasn't wearing a Johnny. So that I would say I would recommend. So yeah, the first day was no water, nothing by mouth. I was sucking on the swabs. That was annoying. It wasn't horrible, but it was annoying. I was up at like 4 in the morning the next morning, and I was immediately asking for water. They finally brought it to me at probably 5 or 6, and she brought me like a little like medicine cup. I think it was an ounce, and she said to try to drink it over like 45 minutes, and I did my best to last that long. I was so thirsty. I drank several of those little cups of water, and then breakfast came, which was chicken broth and Jell-O and a popsicle and herbal tea. So I drank about half the chicken broth and ate about half the Jell-O over probably 2 hours or so. And then at that point, it was almost lunchtime on Tuesday. So then they brought me a lunch tray, which was very similar. I think it was like vegetable broth instead of chicken, but it also had a protein shake. Now, their protein shake was Ensure brand. I brought my own. Theirs isn't very tasty, and I was warned ahead of time to bring my own protein shake. So I brought my own, and I started sipping on it, and that took me. I actually brought it home. It took me like 8 hours to drink a 12-ounce protein shake because it was just so thick. Another thing I forgot to mention was they found a hiatal hernia, which was interesting because I had the upper GI where you swallow the barium, and I also had an endoscopy, and neither of those tests found a hernia. So in surgery, I guess he said it was small, but he found it and he repaired it. But he mentioned that for at least a few days, he used the words tight, and I guess that's pretty accurate. When I swallow almost anything, it feels pretty tight going down, almost like if you swallow a pill the wrong way, it kind of is a similar feeling. And because the protein shake was so thick, it feels even tighter. So the nurse actually recommended pouring it over ice and letting it thin out, and that actually did help a bit. So I was able to get, like I said, I brought it home with me that evening, and I think I finished it at like 8:30 in the evening. It took me almost a full 8 hours to finish it. So yeah, I've been home, yes, since last evening. I slept in my own bed. I did lay down to sleep. Getting up from a laying down position was painful. I was trying to push as much with my arms as I could, so I didn't use my stomach muscles. But then like when you go from like laying down to like upright, I didn't realize how much your organs shift just from like gravity. So like I could definitely feel it like when I was going from like laying down to sitting up. But it passed quickly. Like I gotta say, it was like, you know, maybe a few minutes of intense discomfort, not even really a level of pain. It was just uncomfortable. But it was nice to sleep in my own bed. It was a lot. I got chunks of sleep, like two hour chunks, like 3 of them. And it was good sleep while I was sleeping. So that was good. And then this morning I woke up, about 4, and I was due for meds. So I took my meds, and then I walked around in my courtyard. And I took a short video out there, so I probably will attach that video to the end of this video if I can figure out how. It might be a separate video if I can't figure out how. But I did a few laps out in my courtyard at 4 o'clock this morning, trying to move, because like when I laid down, the gas went back up to my shoulder, so I was trying to like move it around again. And then I dozed off from like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then I got up, and then I had to start taking Pepsid today and the chewable vitamin, and I was due for Tylenol, so I was drinking the Tylenol. Even the little like shot of Tylenol takes like 20 minutes to get down. And then I was able to take a shower. They told me I could take a shower today, so that felt amazing to be able to get in the shower today. So that's where I am. It is about 11 a.m. on day 2 or 3. It's Wednesday and surgery was Monday, so day 2 or day 3, depending on how you look at it. I don't know if you look at surgery as day 1 or the day after surgery as day 1. So, but things are going well. Honestly, recovery is easier so far than I had expected. I was really kind of prepared for a lot of pain that I haven't really been having. I mean, I'm keeping up on my pain meds, alternating Oxy and Tylenol, and I'm definitely keeping up with it, but it's been pretty good. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update. Things are going well. So I guess I'll do another update probably at a week post-op next Monday. But I mean, if anything exciting happens in the meanwhile, maybe I'll make another one sooner. But aside from that, I really appreciate you guys. The Instagram and YouTube weight loss community is so supportive. I'm really thankful for you guys. So thank you so much for being on the journey with me. And the people who did it ahead of me, thank you so much for leaving your content on YouTube for us to go through, so that we feel prepared. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.